You have to be brutally honest about human behaviour, and we consume. That's what we do. We use a lot of shit. And you have to stop and question where it comes from and what impact it has on the environment. Well, it's a difficult environment to work in. God, it's a jungle, isn't it?
It's turning into one. You need to come in here with a bloody chainsaw, mate. Yeah. You going to sit down? Okay.
It's not actually wet, it's quite dry for you. John Dronfield, long-suffering Indigenous forester. I've been involved in beech forest management for productive use for the best part of 24 years. And I also now own a sawmill, which is a brilliant career choice. And I process the beech we harvest and produce products for health-based building.
Yeah, Robin Curtis, I'm a director with Health-Based Building and the Health-Based Building team. I've worked with John over the last 10 years alongside his passion for sustainable practices and harvesting, and glad to have the product and the story involved with Health-Based Building.
Around the world, this type of forestry is well known, not so much in New Zealand. And it's called lots of things. It's called continuous cover forestry, indicating that we maintain the forest at all costs and take a regulated harvest out rather than clear felling. It's called near natural forestry, meaning that we're trying to mimic natural processes that occur in different ecosystems. Our objective is that if you look at this forest from a landscape perspective, there is no discernible change. Definitely there have been trees harvested in here, but the canopy remains, the species remain, the trees grow healthily. We're actually standing right in the middle of a harvest site, harvested 19 years ago. This whole stand of trees through here was senescent or old, so they're dying back. We look for places where we can take a harvest that's kind of working with the natural system. And we've created what's called a light well in the forest, and it lets light in, which favours the advanced regrowth. And all these beautiful young trees that you can see around us have responded in those 19 years. So these things are now 10 or 15 metres high. We're only taking merchantable product out. A good 40% of the stem volume remains on the site, and that's really important in a natural forest. So it stays in here to rot down. So all that goodness stays in the forest.
Extraction is not by roadways or bulldozing trees. Extraction is by helicopter harvesting. It's clear felling that's an issue. Anything that's clear felled in a hardwood species, as beech is, that is just not sustainable. You can't regrow from clear felled forests. They are eliminated and you go to the next one.
I started in this when I was around 25, and I distinctly remember going to Southland to do my master's thesis and standing on the edge of a clear fell native forest and just having a visceral reaction to it, really. It's just, there has to be a better way than that. You can either look for, I guess, solutions by shutting everything down, or you can work within the industry to make it better, is what I was taught. I may be considered a pariah for wanting to harvest some native trees in a forest like this, but you have to think where else you're getting the product from. If you're just importing it from Siberia or the Congo and saying it's all good, we didn't do it here, that's a cop-out because it's not helping global sustainability. Okay, so this is a very real taking ownership of a problem. You know, my industry, the few of us left, probably produce 3% of what we utilise in this country for decorative timbers. 3% of what we use, okay? So that's not very much. Where does the rest come from? These are red beech logs, and this one in particular is naturally durable. So the heartwood is naturally durable, chemical free. That's the boiler. So all our waste wood gets ground up into chip and feeds the boiler, so we don't buy any coal or any electricity or energy. I guess I needed to work in an industry where I felt I was doing something good for the world. And people may look at me and go, well, that's just counterintuitive, you're cutting down trees and destroying nature. But far from it, I believe I'm working with nature to produce a product to help society, you know. This was largely a forested country and we've cleared huge swaths of it. So what's remaining is extremely precious, but we also have to find ways to be accountable for what we need as a society. I saw the tail end of the clear felling years, and you're destroying the future really when you knock over a forest like that. But I also think that we can use our knowledge and our skills and our regulations to take a yield out of that forest, to get an economic return off that land for the landowner.